The only thing Trump can do is make wrong decisions, and nothing he does is right.
Hello.
HVAC, what's going on? What's your take today?
Well, can I get a commitment out of you at least? 10 minutes minimum. That's fair.
You said that last time.
Yeah, I know, but you started pissing me off around minute 15.
Wait, so if I...
3.
Well, again, if I start pissing you off, then you can kick me. But just because I'm right, does that mean I'm going to piss you off?
No.
Well, I have to know what's going to piss you off.
If you were right, I would be shocked. So
right, but if someone is shocked, can they not also be pissed off? Anyway, never mind. I'm sorry. I won't start refuting your points right off the bat. Anyway,
here's what I would tell you. Fine, 10 minutes. 10 minutes before I open the kick pool.
Yes, and if they pool it to 100, then that's fair, okay? But anyway, 10 minutes. So, but I want to debate Jayden this time. Is that fair?
That's fair.
No, it's not fair to me.
No, I know it's not. It's definitely not fair to you. That's
all
true.
Right, Jay, you're good. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's fine. That's fine.
No, he doesn't want to. Guys,
Jayden
is afraid to debate me.
No,
he's kind of annoyed. Not well. Wait, again, you could be annoyed, but also afraid. No,
it's because I don't believe you debate in good faith. Much of it is posturing on positions that you yourself don't fully invest in or believe in, and then arguing it to the extent of semantics at the end of the day. So
wait. So hang on. So if I promise not to do that, then will you debate me?
Well, what you do is this. What you do is this. You start asking questions, and then you look for semantics, or you look for a slight loophole, or to bastardize the understanding of something so that it fits your narrative, or something to that degree.
Just like what you do.
No,
just like what you do.
I don't debate semantics and varying facts. See, you
don't.
You're like, well, you did this thing where you're like, but what about this and that and this, and then you try and find like these little tiny loopholes to undermine the larger. No, you try and
such as give me one example. Well, you can't give me one example.
Undermine.
Yeah, sure. Give me one example.
Like yesterday, intent versus motive. You were trying to establish that you were trying to establish that intent was the same thing as motive, and it's not.
Wait, I wouldn't.
And then you started picking. You started trying to pick away at that.
But hang on, those are two different.
I know. Yeah. That's the point I was making.
But don't you agree? But hang on. I agree, right? But again, wouldn't if someone had intent, that equals motive? What the?
No.
That's true.
No.
That's a fact.
No.
Wait, hang on, intent. If like, for example, I have the intent to unalive you for a reason, there's no way you would have that intent without a motive. What are you talking about?
No.
You're just saying you have that intent for no reason?
No.
There's no reason for the intent.
No. You have the intent to do the action. That's the intent. It's not why you did the action. You purposefully did the action.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
So, no, because I'm talking about...
You're just proving my point.
Okay, so I'm supposed to like agree with you and bow down? Okay, I agree with you, Tommy. I bow down.
Thanks. Awesome. Cool. That was easy.
I'm not saying, again, I refute what you're saying that I said it's the same word, right?
It's not.
I'm saying...
Dude, intent and motive are two different things.
I agree, but what I'm saying is you can't have intent without motive. Okay. This is my claim.
You can. Somebody goes to rob a bank. They go in there. They tell them to turn over all the money. They put the gun in their face, et cetera, et cetera. They get the money. They walk out. None of that requires the fact. None of that.
But hang on.
That is a
why
crime.
did they rob the bank?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. That is a crime, correct?
Yes.
With that information alone, that is a crime.
Absolutely.
It does not require the why that they needed a new watch.
Oh, wait, to prove a crime? Absolutely. That wasn't the point, though. Like, I'm not saying...
The motive would be why you did something. And the why in that instance, which is I stole this money to buy a new watch, is not intent.
No, the intent is because you wanted to steal the money to buy a new watch. No, I mean, the intent is to steal the money so you could do this thing. Right, it's just to get this money. But the motive,
but intent is that you did the action, that you purposefully did the action. It's not why you purposefully did the action. It's that you did the purposeful action. Oh,
hang on. So we're kind of talking past each other in the sense of here that like, what's the overall arching point here? Like, what's the point?
You're attempting to nitpick to undermine the fact that motive is not an element of a crime.
Okay, sure. I agree with what you're saying that like, just if you can prove the intent, you could prove a crime. You don't necessarily have to prove the motive, but it helps like you prove your case in a court of law. No,
I'm aware it does help you, but that's not the argument.
I know. Again,
your 10 minutes is running out, man.
Well, yeah, I got at least 2 minutes left. Okay, so and that's that's all HVAC needs, you guys. At least a solid 2 to debunk these liberals. I wasn't talking about anything else. Okay. Okay, so
You're
Tommy,
digging in your grave right now.
I'm not sure. I doubt it, but
With that joke, yeah.
So Tommy, the reason I'm gonna vote for Trump is just because he is a representation of what a good leader is. Not Biden. I don't want to follow somebody that like can't even talk, walk, or do anything. Right? Like,
So Donald Trump.
So
this is not
Donald Trump couldn't walk down a ramp
which one.
Drink a glass. He couldn't pronounce
or drink a
Obama's
glass
name.
of water.
Oh, he actually
thought
did
that
drink a glass of water.
Here, I'll read some
Obama.
stuff to you. Yeah, with two hands.
Yeah.
He said,
already know.
magnets go poof. This is a good leader to you. Magnets go poof in water. You need ID to buy bread. He said he looks like Elvis. He said, they're trying to debank us. He said he ran against Obama, and Obama's going to get us into World War II. And he said that multiple times. He said,
Okay,
Jeb
so
Bush
we
got us
agree
into
on
the
one
Middle
thing.
East.
Wait, so
Corn
can
is
we agree on this
non-liquid
premise for
gold.
the chat?
Blamed Haley for...
Wait, Tommy, let's agree for the chat that if I can prove that one is more stumbling and bumbling than the other, then that determines whether they're a good president, right?
No.
Okay, then why are you even arguing the point with me then?
Because you're dismissing the shortcomings of Donald Trump and saying that they somehow either don't exist or aren't as bad as Joe Biden.
Well,
Because
definitely
it's a
not
bit
as bad.
it's a bit. Hold on. As an astrophysicist, was Hawking.
I'm talking
Stephen
about
Hawking.
leadership.
Is he like?
Oh,
is
yeah,
he like not?
Stephen
I'm
Hawking.
asking you. Is he not a qualified? Because he couldn't walk anywhere. He can't.
Yeah,
speak.
not to be the
Is he
president.
not a qualified? Is he not a qualified astrophysicist? Is he not?
Oh,
Was
he
not
is.
one of the
He is.
most qualified
Yep, he is.
astrophysicists ever.
Yes, he
so
was.
why Hawking?
I'm talking
Stephen
about
Hawking?
leadership.
Is he like?
Oh,
is he
yeah,
like not a?
Stephen
I'm
Hawking.
asking you. Is he not a qualified? Because he couldn't walk anywhere. He can't.
Yeah,
speak.
not to be the
Is he
president.
not a qualified? Is he not a qualified astrophysicist? Is he not?
Oh,
Was
he
not
is.
one of the
He is.
most qualified
Yep, he is.
astrophysicists ever.
Yes, he
so
was.
why?
So, can I-
Why make the argument?
Wait, go ahead, Jaden.
Well, you can answer that first, and then I'll make.
Oh, why make that argument? I mean, just because, like, if that argument was so bad, you wouldn't have made the counter argument, right? I just baited you in. That's all I did. So go ahead, Jaden.
Remember how I said
Because
that
I-
this is exactly what you do?
I baited you
Because
in really
I pointed
good.
out. Because I pointed out that your logic was stupid and flawed. That therefore that
Wait, so-
means that it deserves legitimacy. It doesn't deserve legitimacy. It's me simply saying this is a stupid argument.
But you made the claim it was ableist, all the while making the same argument
Right,
against
then
Trump,
let me
which is
ask you this.
ableist.
Here's the question I'm going to ask you: If
Go
it was
ahead,
an
I'm listening.
election down to Gavin Newsom or Greg Abbott, who would you vote for?
Wow, that's because I mean, if I was a Democratic Californian, I'd vote for Gavin
I'm asking
Newsom
just who would
because
you vote for? Not
Yeah,
if
I
you
would-
were a
I
Democrat
would
out
vote
of
for-
California, wherever
Well,
you
I'm
may
from
live. That's not
California.
the question.
Yeah, I'm
Who are
from
you voting
California.
for? Based on the policies you believe in, based on the leadership qualities that you're looking for, who would you vote for?
Okay, I'll answer it quickly. So I would say
just
if
a
I was a
name.
normal, sure, I'm gonna vote
Just
for
say
Greg.
the goddamn
Abbott.
name.
Yeah,
Why? He
not
can't
not
walk.
Newsom, huh?
You can't walk.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean he's
That's
not a
your
good
fucking
leader.
standard for leadership.
Wait,
It's
I didn't.
whether or
Hang
not
on,
they
hang on.
can
No,
walk
I
up
didn't
Air
say.
Force goddamn bitch ass one.
Wait, hang on. It wasn't. Hang on. It's not that he couldn't walk. It's that he was tripping because he could walk. Do you think if Greg Abbott could walk, he would trip? Probably not. Like, let's face it.
Do people not trip?
Yeah, they trip.
Okay. Why
do
would that
presidents-
make any difference if a president trips or not?
I mean,
Oh,
it doesn't make
that's
a
a
difference to
human thing.
me.
You
It
think-
makes it. I mean, why did
Okay,
they
George
videotape
Bush
him
Sr.
doing it?
threw up. That happens. People trip, people vomit, people sneeze, people fart, all that normal human
Sure.
shit that everyone does. I don't see how they're above the fray when it comes to gravity.
Okay, can I ask you a question though? So we both agree. Let's say I agree to this premise, right? You would also agree to this premise that just because Trump misspoke didn't mean he was a bad president, correct?
He's a bad president for other reasons.
Okay,
But if
perfect.
that's
Let's
your
talk about
standard,
name one
if that's
reason.
your standard of leadership.
Well, we
and
just
him
got past that.
misspeaking constantly.
Wait, hang on,
that's
hang
the
on.
standard you've
Jaden.
set, not me. So if he's misspeaking and fumbling and mumbling all over himself, as you indicated, that should be a poor indicator of his leadership capabilities. But
Wait,
it's
Jaden,
not.
I agreed to your premise. Wait, I agreed to your premise.
It's
Now
your
tell
premise.
me. Now tell me why Trump is a worse president than Biden. Then.
I didn't argue that. Wait, a worse president than Biden?
Yes, I agree that like just because like Joe Biden falls and does shit like that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad president.
Yeah,
I
his
agree with what you're
approach to
saying.
strongmen and dictators across the world, his withdrawal from Afghanistan, setting forth freeing of 5,000 Taliban prisoners, his negligence and dereliction of duty when it came to COVID. A number of things I can point to. The Muslim
So wait,
ban, I
let's
think,
talk
was
about one. Name your favorite. Just talk about one. Which one?
my favorite.
Afghanistan. Like which one? Which one do you want to talk
What
about?
exactly? We can talk about the Doha Agreement.
The what?
It's not my favorite. You don't know what the Doha Agreement is?
In reference to what?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan pullout? Sure, it was Trump's idea, but who implemented the actual pullout? Biden or Trump?
Under
don't
what
understand why
protocol?
that-
This was
Yes,
Donald
it was
Trump's protocol.
Trump. It was
What
Trump's
did he
idea
change?
to pull out of Afghanistan.
It's not just the
Right.
idea. Okay, it's the policy in place. This was a Trump policy executed
Wait, a
by
Trump
Biden.
policy?
Yes, but
Hang on. So
yes.
when did we pull out of Afghanistan? Under Trump or Biden?
We
Oh my
pulled
God,
Under-
the deal
under
to pull
who?
out was
Oh my
under
God.
Trump.
No, wait, what?
You're older than me,
Afghanistan
man. You're
policy-
older than me, and I would think your grasp of facts
Well, I've
would
been
be
to
a bit better than
Afghanistan,
this.
buddy. Have you? Have you been to
I
Afghanistan?
didn't ask. It's
Okay.
if you've
What?
been, you
I've
would
been
know what the
there.
Doe Agreement is.
No, actually,
You've
you
been
wouldn't,
there?
because I don't know what it is. Don't know what. Tell me what it is. I don't know. Tell me. Yes, I've been
Why
to
don't you know?
Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Well, because
so
I was
Donald
just
Trump-
I was an E4 in the army. Like I didn't pay attention to that. I was just being when you get deployed to Afghanistan, you don't worry about that kind of stuff. You kind of just worry about like living, right? Go on, man. Be realistic here.
Then you should know about the withdrawal, if anything.
Okay, hang on. I was in Afghanistan from 2010 to 2011. What?
Right. And if this is the point of whose burden this is on, knowing the very basic principle of what the Doe Agreement was or did would be pertinent to your arguments.
Wait,
It's
so
easy
stop,
to
so
blame
stop.
Joe Biden on the
Let's keep
surface
it
if you don't
simple.
know the policy initiated by which president that allowed it to happen in the first place.
Okay, the Doha Agreement is not determinative on who's on the administration that actually withdrew the troops.
Yes, it
which
is,
was under
because that's the
Biden.
policy for withdrawing, not who did it. It's how it's done.
Okay, so how? Tell me. Honestly, I've never heard of it, so tell me. I'm
Okay.
willing to listen.
Tommy, do you want to explain it?
Can you
The
Can you
Doha
explain it in
Agreement?
like 30 seconds?
The Doe
Yeah,
Agreement?
I've never heard of this before.
Donald
I'm going
Trump
to
set
Google it
up-
while you're talking.
Cool. Donald Trump had a meeting in Doha with the Taliban exclusively to create or to agree to the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan. It left out the government of Afghanistan and talked and worked explicitly with the Taliban. And the only prerequisite for us to withdraw was not coming to an agreement with the government of Kabul, but instead just don't attack our soldiers and we'll leave in May of next year.
Wait, so
Following
Tommy,
when-
you understand, hang on, Tommy, you understand that the Afghanistan government was propped up by the America, right? Like we put that government into place.
I'm aware, but
Right.
you still, when
So-
you've spent 20 years in a country like that, should set up the best possible opportunity for the government of Kabul to still survive. And
Right.
Donald Trump
Wait.
didn't do that.
Hang on. Is to this day is Kabul like not standing? What are you talking about? Just because they're under different
It
control?
fell to
The actual
Taliban.
Hang on, Tommy. Why? You're
It
saying
fell-
it fell?
Because of the
How come do you think the
To the
Taliban would say
Taliban.
it fell or they rose up? Hang on. Would the Taliban say they fell or they rose up?
I don't know what you're
Simple
getting at
question.
or why that's a weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
so
the
you would
distinction
agree
is.
that the Taliban felt that they rose up in power, correct?
I don't know why it matters.
That's a fair question. Yes, it matters
Why
because
does it
you're
matter?
saying because you're saying the government that we propped up and when we left somehow it's wrong. It's Trump's fault that the Taliban took back over. Like no,
It's
that was going to
Trump's
happen
fault that
one way or the
no,
other.
listen, I'm going to explain to you some geopolitical shit because you don't understand, okay? When you're in a country that long and you've propped up a government like that, your ultimate resolution is to get those two factions to at least agree territorial and to take steps to ensure that neither one of them collapse. Donald Trump didn't do that. He basically said, we're leaving, just don't attack our troops and we'll leave. That's it. There was no preconditions.
But
There was
Tommy,
no discussion. There was nothing.
Wait, so Tommy, hang on. Did the Taliban attack when Trump was president?
No, because he set up
Okay.
the Doha Agreement.
Wait,
Well,
hey,
he
okay,
did- well,
so
hold on. No, that's
that
not true.
agreement-
So no,
how
no, no.
come
They
that-
did. Hold on.
Wait, Tommy,
They
don't be
did.
afraid of the question.
They
You're
did.
running. You're running.
Listen,
Just listen to what I'm saying.
answering the question.
This is important.
Listen,
Okay, go ahead.
I'm answering the question. They did. Donald Trump negotiated the Doha Agreement in 2020, which stopped them, which is part of the reason that Joe Biden followed through as best as he could with the withdrawal timeline because he didn't want the Taliban reattacking American troops and him getting blamed for it. Somebody hit him with a mute.
The withdrawal of Afghanistan is a good thing, regardless of what happened. Would you agree that's
The
like a good
withdrawal
thing
of
that we should have
Afghanistan-
done? Just
Do I
answer
think
the
it's a good
question.
thing that we got? Do I think it's a good thing that we got out of Afghanistan? Yes.
Yes,
Do I
yes,
think
of
that
course.
the way that
We
we,
both
did it
agree.
was the right way? No.
Right.
No, the
Under
way it was
whose
done was not the right way.
administration did we pull out in?
Under
And don't make
Trump's.
right.
Donald Trump's.
Wait, again, if the Doha Agreement was working under Trump, right? Because you admit that they didn't try to do anything when Trump was
The
president.
entire purpose
Because
of
of the
this
Doha
argument,
Agreement.
please listen. The entire purpose of this argument is to establish the negative consequences of the pullout and who they were responsible for. Not that we left, But who was responsible for them? Donald Trump
who was
because
responsible?
the reason that there was, listen for a second, the reason that this is even a discussion, that we're even having this conversation about Afghanistan, the only reason that we're having this conversation is because went wrong after we left. That's why. And that went wrong because of the way that Donald Trump negotiated our withdrawal. Period. Nothing else to discussion. He's a businessman. He set up a deal because that's what he does. He's done that his whole life.
Pulling out of? Oh, hang on. So you do agree that when we pulled out of Afghanistan, that was wrong, then, right? What happened after that? We shouldn't have left.
Do I agree that we pulled out of Afghanistan?
Yeah. Was it right or wrong? Just say it.
Was it
it's
right?
Okay. Was it right or wrong?
Was it right to what I already answered?
Yes. Then you would agree with what Trump did. You just don't agree with by the method of which he did so.
Would I agree
correct?
with what Trump did? No, I wouldn't agree with what Trump did. Saying that we should pull out of a country or do any policy thing and then do it in an awful way does not mean that I agree with you. He did it in a shitty way.
Do you know how many troops were lost in Afghanistan? How many women or how many wives lost their children? Dude, this is like serious business right now, bro. And I was in Afghanistan.
What is he talking
So
about?
you're talking to someone that has firsthand experience, right? And I'm not saying
what are you
because of
talking
that.
about? I don't understand what that has
Right.
to do with.
Okay,
The question
agree
is,
with me here.
the only reason that we are having this conversation about the Afghanistan withdrawal is because of what happened after we left. And what happened after we left does not have to do with Joe Biden. What happened after, well, for the most, so to a degree it does, but for no reasons that you understand. But for other reasons, it doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with him. Joe Biden did do some things that were detrimental. Right. He did do some things that were detrimental to people there. But those things were done. Hold on a second. Listen for a second.
Okay, sorry.
Those things, the reason that those things went wrong is predominantly because of Donald Trump. For instance, the lack of special immigrant visa program for interpreters and other people that worked with the United States, Biden overlooked that. And that was a bad thing that Biden did. But you also can't ignore that Donald Trump and Stephen Miller ignored addressing that for over a year before they threw it on Biden's desk. So saying that Joe Biden is like inherently responsible for this thing that went wrong would not be true because Donald Trump is the one that ensured that it was going to up in the first place.
Wait, sure. Okay, so but what was going on simultaneously when he made this claim? Was it something like C-19? You act like Trump. Hang on. You act like Trump is like this end all be all. But the only thing Trump can do is make wrong decisions, and nothing he does is right. Actually, you admitted that one thing.
Yeah, what has he done is right? What did he do is right? What did he do that was right? What? Like, I'm not going to praise him. I'm not going to praise him for pulling out of. Dude, I'm not going to praise him for pulling out of Afghanistan and it up because he didn't listen to anybody because he thought he knows.
Wait,
I'm not going to praise him for that.
That's where we disagree.
If I think the appropriate thing, even if I thought this, that like we should add more security to the border, I'm not going to be like, well, he did a good thing because he separated families. No, that was a up policy. I'm not going to agree when the policy, what he did was it up.
Wait, that's a non sequitur to like.
That's not a non sequitur.
We do not care.
It's an analogy.
That's not a non sequitur. Google non sequitur.
Thanks, Chris. Was it 10 minutes?
His whole thing is, well, he did something that you thought was a good thing in the long run, so therefore you must worship him for it. No, I don't. Right? Like, there are things that I believe, like, it would be like if you were talking about Biden and you were like, well, yeah, sure, he did support Israel at first and didn't say enough or do enough about their bombing campaign on Gaza, but he was the only president to speak up. That doesn't absolve him from what the that's going on. You could use that in a context of like, well, okay, he's the better option because at least he said something over Trump, but you couldn't say he did a good job. It's not a non sequitur, by the way. A non sequitur is there's two unrelated topics. These aren't unrelated. We're making an analogy about policy.